This is the quest for the best Chinese in the USA. Similka, are you ready for some hearty food?
Not really. I've been eating way too much these days.
Definitely feeling a lot heavier. Let's put it that way.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
If you would preface that by saying, Similka, are you ready to eat some Uyghur food? I'd say, hell yeah.
Really?
I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. What about you?
Yeah, okay. Well, let's just be completely honest here. The most foreign-friendly food that you can find in China is Xinjiang food or Uyghur food, from
Right.
the western part of China. And
Right.
the reason is it's because it's basically just like Turkish food, Middle Eastern food. It's the kind of thing that you will find in the West.
Right.
So, for instance, if you go for a night out in London, the most typical thing to do is to go for a kebab.
Right.
After you've gone drinking at the pub
Right.
and all that kind of thing.
Right.
And that kebab, that kind of food, is pretty much Uyghur food.
Right.
They're equivalents.
They look so much like Westerners that actually when we go to some more remote areas of China, oftentimes people don't expect to see someone from South Africa or someone from America, so they'll
Yeah.
automatically assume, say, 你是新疆人吗?
Yeah, they'll ask, are you a Xinjiang person?
Because it's more feasible for them to see a Chinese Xinjiang person,
Yeah.
right, than a Westerner like us. So green eyes, a couple of them have some blonde, like lighter color hair.
Kind of
and
lighter
stuff,
color hair, yeah. I mean, the thing is they look more Arabic,
Right.
because basically
they're
Xinjiang,
Muslims.
yeah, they are. And Xinjiang used to be called, I think, Western Turkmenistan or something
East
like
Turkestan.
that. Oh, East Turkestan?
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me, I'm not,
It's all
to
right.
be honest, I'm not very well up on that part of the world. But
Gotcha.
yeah, it's very interesting. It's a big Muslim majority there.
Right.
And, they got mosques and,
Right.
they wear the little hats and everything.
It's a part of China that looks nothing like China.
Yeah.
Pretty much has nothing to do with China, let's be
And
honest.
of course, there's all sorts of political tension over there. So, we haven't been there ourselves
Right,
just
it's
because
tough for
it's
us.
too tough for us to be able to actually go there.
Right. And
Yeah.
film. Right.
Yeah, and film. We'd be just kicked out or whatever. So,
One thing we do make a habit of is eating Xinjiang food.
yes, because
in
it's
China.
It's amazing.
Right.
I mean, it's all the kind of lamb and a couple of the restaurants don't want to let you drink, obviously, because it's a Muslim thing, and that's a
Right.
bit annoying.
The most difficult task for us was to find a Uyghur restaurant here because most Uyghur people don't make it out of China.
Yeah.
It's a heavily controlled area. It's difficult for them to get out. So this is quite the treat that we were able to track one down.
But you said that. But remember, the first night we arrived in San Diego, we're sitting in a restaurant having a massive, overpriced hamburger, and a guy just came out from the street. He actually
Right.
came into the restaurant. He's like, "I love your videos. So cool to see you." And he, took a video with us. Hey, we've met a subscriber from Xinjiang. That's so
my God,
cool.
I'm so excited.
What's your name, man?
Dulchat.
Very cool. Hey, can you help me tell everybody to stay awesome?
Still awesome, always.
Right.
And he's from Xinjiang.
Right.
So
It's pretty interesting.
It was really interesting to actually run into a subscriber from Xinjiang. It's
Right.
weird, huh?
Let's
Yeah.
go check it out.
Absolutely, I can't wait.
Hi, welcome to Sama Uyghur Cuisine. My name is Pattar. I'm from Xinjiang province from China. First, that we don't have that much Uyghur people in this area, especially even in America. We don't have that much people. The Uyghurs like our ethnic group. And then we opened the restaurant almost 7 months now. We're the three partners opened that restaurant. The Uyghur food is mostly we're using like the lamb, like the other Chinese food. They have a lamb, but not that much as. And then we have the kebab also, the whole lamb kebab. And then we have dapenji, maybe you guys know. But dapenji is still there's some spices from the Chinese spices, but most of the like hand pulled noodle and then some like recipes is like from us. And there's a lot, but because we're limit of the stuff and then some of the items we can't do it here because of some equipment thing is. But still like some like 80% of Xinjiang food we're providing here. Of course, if you want to open a restaurant, it's it takes a lot of money, and then you have to have a chef, and it takes a lot of work there, so it's difficult.
Winston?
Look at this feast.
I wasn't so hungry before, but I definitely am now.
Oh yeah, this looks fantastic.
Should we start with some Xinjiang Uyghur tea? This is a milk tea,
Absolutely.
and it looks like kind of the Mongolian style kind that we've had before. A little bit salty.
Yeah,
Should
it's
be.
definitely it's salty. It's very savory.
Almost like a milk nut soup.
Yeah, it is. It tastes like soup more than tea.
It's really tasty though.
Yeah, it's very hearty.
It's got a lot of different nuts in it, like walnuts I'm seeing in there, and all kinds of weird spices.
Yeah.
But it is very milky. More milk than tea.
More soup milk than tea. Does that make
Very
sense?
hot.
Yeah. Let's talk about what we've got on the table before
Sure.
we do anything. This over here is called big plate chicken or da panji,
yeah.
right?
It's probably one of our favorites. It's one of those things that if we go out to get Xinjiang food, we always order it.
Oh,
for sure.
absolutely have to.
Now, what this usually is a tomato-based sauce with different parts of the chicken, with potatoes, carrots, peppers, and then usually with these big, flat hand-pulled noodles, right?
Absolutely. Speaking of hand-pulled noodles, that's what this is over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the lam yen over here, right?
Absolutely. And here's a little bit of trivia. I know in the West, when we're talking about sort of Asian noodles, a lot of people say ramen, okay? And there's a reason for that, right? It comes from Japanese. And actually, a lot of the words for Asian food we get from Japan. So, like tofu, for instance, comes
Right.
from Japan because I guess the first time it became popular in the West, it was from Japan. Like in sushi restaurants and stuff. So, oh, this is tofu. But the original name is from Chinese, it's doufu, right? And the
Right.
same with ramen is
Lam yen.
la mian, which means pulled noodles. Yeah, la means to pull, mian's noodles.
This is the Middle Eastern kind of take on that whole
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And it's usually cooked with all kinds of delicious Middle Eastern type spices. You can get a little tinge of Chinese cooking in it when you got the woodier mushrooms and stuff.
Oh,
though.
yes.
That definitely brings the Chinese influence into it. What else we got?
Okay, we've got these like samosa type things over there. I love
Full of-
those.
I
I
believe
love
full of
those.
lamb,
Those
which looks
are like,
amazing.
to be honest, those are probably one of my favorite dishes over there.
You can't say it's your favorite yet, though. We haven't tried anything, but in the past. We also got our lamb kebabs,
not.
which are fantastic looking, bigger than the ones we're used to on the side of the road.
I mean, yeah, we were at that barbecue restaurant, the Dongbei barbecue. Yeah, that was delicious, but you saw how small it was in
Right.
comparison. That's like almost a whole lamb on there.
That's freaking amazing. These are your lamb meat pies, which are really, really tasty. Flaky crust looks really delicious.
Oh yeah,
But what do you want to start with?
it's kind of difficult, but maybe we should start with something a bit manageable. Should we go for the lamb?
It's right in front of us.
Okay, right.
Let's go
I'm
for
gonna
it.
put my milk tea down over there.
Now, because Xinjiang food is very different than Chinese food, we're not using chopsticks, because that's not what the locals do.
Well, I don't know. Every time I've been to a Xinjiang restaurant, they got chopsticks.
That
Well,
ain't chopsticks.
anyway, it's probably just for the local Chinese to use, yeah? Meat's good. Wow. I want this stuff. Come off the plate. There we go.
You know what's crazy about this style of ramen? It's almost like Italian food in a way because it's got a tomato-based sauce, but way more savory and a little bit more spicy.
It's also more hearty. It's definitely more
yeah,
hearty.
for sure, more meaty and things like this. But it's the chew and the bite of the hand-pulled noodles it's completely different than any other noodle you've had, including
Yeah.
pasta.
I mean, I literally was in the kitchen watching him make these noodles, and it makes such a big difference because it's fresh. They make it out of their flour over there and
boiled
everything.
pasta, right?
Yeah, it's awesome, and that's what gives it that flavor, and it's always a winner. I
Right.
can always suggest it to any foreigner who's in China. If you want something that kind of is delicious and very Western style, go for that.
Now, it may look like I'm crying, but it's actually because I just burned my mouth on this milk tea. It is delicious, but I'm not crying from that, I promise you.
You're crying because you're missing all the Xinjiang food in China.
This is amazing and better than the
it is good.
normal ramen that I usually eat.
Yeah.
Again, actually, this one I would say it's a little bit better because I like the crisp on the lamb that they put in it. The sauce is also much more strongly flavored here, which I
Yeah.
like a lot better.
Yeah. It's really nice. So, okay, we've got to give it an authenticity rating. What are you going to give it? You go first.
10 out of 10 for authenticity. It's got everything that I'm used to in a really good Xinjiang ramen. For taste, I'm going to go for a 8.5. It's absolutely amazing. And if I was a little bit hungrier, I'd probably give it a 9. It's really good. Yep.
All right.
We have the lamb kebab here.
Yeah, this is got to be good.
I'm not used to having so much of that really, really good flavor in one bite. Because usually you can just rip a whole chor off in your mouth. And you get a little morsel of meat. This is, I mean, it's almost like it was marinated. It's not just normal meat flavor. It's got a really special cumin and really rich kind of Middle Eastern spice to it. It's good.
It's delicious. That's really good. The flavor, yes, 10 out of 10 for authenticity for me. That's because I often have these lamb kebabs at the Xinjiang restaurant near my place. I'll be honest with you though, the meat is smaller there. Not that much smaller, because they do make a big thing out of it being a big, you know, it's even called like a da chuan.
Da chuan, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the flavor on there, it's 100% authentic, so 10 out of 10. But I'm gonna have to give it probably a 9 out of 10 for taste, because I've never had one that is that good before.
Yeah, that's just better.
Yes. Okay.
I know your eye. I've literally watched you
watch
the
that.
entire time.
I want to eat that. I don't want to watch it. I want to eat
Just
it.
sit there and watch it.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it.
Give me one.
Yes, of course. Here we are.
Thanks.
Okay. I can't wait,
These look really
because
good.
these are my favorite usually. So.
Reminds me of some type of Russian dumpling I've had before. What with like a cumin flavor, lamb flavor. Really good. You like it?
Fantastic. You mean piruski or whatever they call it? Right?
It's just like piruski, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really good. Absolutely delicious. That's good.
This is.
I'll let you do the authenticity first.
I honestly can't give it an authenticity because, believe it or not, I've never had these at a Xinjiang place before. This is my first one.
Oh, really? Okay.
I love them. But for taste, I'm going to give it a 9 because it's freaking delicious.
It is. It's okay. The thing is, it is pretty much the same. So authenticity, I'm going to give it a 9. And that's just because the ones that I normally have over there actually have a bit more of a buttery flavor. It's as if they've added a lot more butter, and there isn't that
This
strong
one's a bit
butter
lighter.
flavor. Yeah. So I really, really, really like these, but I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 for authenticity, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for taste because, like I've been saying in a lot of our videos, I could eat these all day and all night.
I dare you. I dare you.
Well,
Probably a bad idea health-wise, right?
I'd have to pace it out, you know, it'd be like one every hour or something.
Okay. Is that how we're going to eat samosas from now on?
Yeah.
Should we go for one of these meat pies
Okay.
before they get cold? This looks like a very similar filling to the last one, but this one looks butterier.
Yeah,
If
I
that
mean,
makes sense.
it's just,
like a pie crust.
I mean, you can see inside, it's just
Right.
got the lamb that's been, you know,
Almost like a
flattened
little.
out.
Oh, but it's got minced onions in it.
Okay,
You see that?
yeah,
Yeah.
give it a shot.
No, that I like better.
Really?
You know why?
What?
I like the pie crust aspect to it. I think
Okay.
it goes with the lamb super well. And the onions cut through the greasiness of the lamb, which is really nice. This is awesome. I imagine you could get this pretty much everywhere. Every time I see like documentaries about Xinjiang or like footage from there, they're
See that?
selling these in the street. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know, this crust is basically just deep fried in a wok full of oil, right?
I like that.
It's not bad. I don't like it as much as the samosa thingies, but I'm going to give this, because I have had this in, you know,
I've had this
again,
before.
same Xinjiang thing. It does taste very similar. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 for authenticity because
Authenticity,
it is a bit different. But taste-wise, I actually don't like it as much as those ones. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. What about
I'm
you?
gonna give this a 9 out of 10 for authenticity. I've had one very similar. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 for taste. I absolutely love that. Could eat that all day. Dip that in some yogurt, sour cream. It'd be
Yeah.
amazing. Or even slurp up some of the sauce.
Sure thing. But yeah, that's bigger. So one every hour compared to one of those every hour. I think I'd survive the day. You wouldn't.
Follow us on our Xinjiang diet, where you can eat fried foods once every hour and keep the weight off.
Because the Xinjiang minority are Muslim, a lot of the Xinjiang restaurants you cannot drink alcohol. at
Right.
all. Yeah.
There are some where you can, but those
Yeah.
typically are the less authentic ones, and usually the Hui Muslims,
Yeah.
not the Xinjiang Muslims, who tend to be more devout in their
Yeah, exactly.
in their beliefs and rules. Anyway, we got the da panji. This is the most famous dish out of the entire province. Probably one of the biggest, most famous dishes that you would know about if you have heard of Xinjiang
Sure.
cuisine before. And it looks stellar. It
does.
looks fantastic, and I've eaten this so many times. I got a funny story about this while we eat it.
Yeah, you dig
How do you
in
wanna
first.
serve it?
I don't know, man. You just dig in. I mean,
Get a piece of chicken. I'll get some of the noodles.
you
get
just
some
got to
sauce.
do that. Yeah.
I was hanging out with my friend,
Yeah.
And I had just discovered this dish at my house, like at the Xinjiang place outside my house.
Yeah.
In China.
Yeah.
And I was in his town. And I told him about it. I was like, we gotta go find a Xinjiang restaurant, because most towns in China have one, right?
Yeah, they do.
I was like, you gotta try this dapanji. It's amazing. So we went there, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, it's not on the menu. So I asked them, I was like, can you make dapanji?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, we could totally do that. They
Yeah.
charged us like $15. For someone it wasn't a big deal, but for a massive one, right?
Okay, yeah, because they're normally much bigger. This is like a small.
Here you go.
Yeah, thanks. This is a small dapanji.
Right.
You know, like the big ones are just.
You could actually order a big
Stupid
one here,
big,
but anyway,
stupid big, yeah.
They were like, we'll make it for you tomorrow. So we had to kind of book it ahead of time.
Right.
So I thought it was kind of weird, but anyway, they call us back, and they're like, okay, can you bring your biggest pot? And we were like, what?
Oh,
So
yeah.
we had to bring an entire pot, and then they brought it to our house, and
Yeah.
then we invited them to share it with us because it
Yeah.
was too big. So we sat down with them, and then we shared the meal in our house. It was really fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic.
But basically, dapanji, like I said, tomato-based, thick pulled noodles, and you got your chicken. It's usually stewed in it.
Yeah.
So it's very tender. I'm gonna try some of the noodles first with the sauce.
Me too. That's really good.
I'm gonna try some of that sauce on its own, just so I can get an idea what kind of spices in there.
Some paprika, maybe.
Yeah, definitely
Maybe
red
some,
pepper.
Some paprika in there.
Maybe a tiny bit of vinegar, but it's not too sour like some of the ones I've had. And you know what I love about this dish?
What?
It's cooked for a while, like stewed. So kind of all the flavors from everything get kind of melded in there. And a lot of people try to avoid this. Is to, you know when you have hot pot, you put in noodles afterwards and like, don't hold them in there too long, it's gonna get starchy. This sauce gets really starchy, but I love it. Super thick, and it's so much better than Chinese soups and stuff.
Sure. The chicken's delicious as well.
me
It's incredibly tender. It kind of just falls off the bone. You know what I mean?
It's better than chicken I usually get in China. This dapanji is spot on. Authenticity is absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
10 out of 10
I agree.
for authenticity. And I'm going to give it another solid 9. I think it's a great winter food. Sit around with your buddies, get the big one,
Yep.
divvy it out, just talk, enjoy it slowly. It's a great stew. It's awesome.
Agreed. It's fantastic. I'm also going to give it a 10 out of 10 for authenticity because it has the exact same flavor that I'm used to. But I have to be honest, the chicken does taste better.
It does. It's really good.
Which is weird because usually we have an opinion that the chicken in China tastes better than the chicken in the West. It usually does, and I'm not sure why. Maybe different strain of chicken.
Different
or
strain.
Different breed.
Today I learned that chicken is bacteria.
Yeah, exactly. A different breed. Anyway,
Bacteria.
yeah. The thing is, it's really delicious. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
I mean, it's good, just like everything else here. I don't think we've had a single dish here that was bad.
No. And I hate to say this again. This is not again. This is a first.
Okay.
But I have a feeling that most people that want to try different Chinese food from what they're used to are gonna probably like this the best because it is so hearty and so tasty and so flavorful.
Absolutely.
I think the average Western palate likes a little bit more flavor than what most Cantonese cooking has to offer.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this whole trip we've been trying the regulars, like the top big 5 or whatever, although I don't know if it's 5, but whatever, the big 4 or the big 3 or whatever.
The bigs.
Yeah, the hot pots, the spicy Sichuan food, the sort of more bland Cantonese food.
Right.
But it's all very typical what you would expect China to be. I don't think people expect this to be China. But
No.
don't forget, this is a part of China, and it's a part of Chinese cuisine.
Right.
And everywhere in China you can get this.
For sure, and if you look around, everyone in this restaurant is Chinese,
Yeah,
and they're coming
absolutely.
because they enjoy it too.
Yeah, of
It's a
course.
very popular cuisine for a very good reason, and it is just better than a lot of cuisines I've had in China.
Yeah, so look, if you're ever in this area, this is in the Bay Area, come check out this restaurant.
Just like only one Xinjiang restaurant around
Yeah,
here.
we searched and we found this. But
It's good.
if you can't find it, if you don't live around here, do a little search for Uyghur food, and it's Uyghur, is it?
That's correct.
Okay, it's a bit of a weird spelling there, but it's pronounced Uyghur, kind of like a white guy with dreadlocks. I'll have to cut that up. Just kidding. Yeah. Anyway,
All right.
it's pronounced Uyghur, and if you search for it, find something in the area, just go give it a try. I don't think you will. I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed. Right?
Can't stop eating.
I'm so full.
Me too.
That was really interesting, to be honest. I didn't
was.
expect to find Xinjiang food in America.
No, and it was a lucky find, to be honest. And thank you to Betts for finding that for us.
Absolutely, yeah. A subscriber of ours is actually the person who put us onto this place. And man, it was just as good as I was expecting. In fact, better. It was better.
It was better than what I thought.
You know,
for sure.
when we set off this afternoon to go try Uyghur food in America, I was like, well, it's going to be good, but
Right.
I didn't know it would be that good.
Right. I actually had no idea it was going to be that good. But you know what? We got a lot more food to eat, so I think we should get on the road and go.
Oh,
It's okay. It's just a little bit.
okay.
I know we got a lot more food to eat tomorrow.
Yeah.
So let us get on the road and get ready for that. Our bellies need a little rest.
Next time on Quest for the Best Chinese in the USA. We're huge fans of China's spiciest cuisine from Sichuan province, so we search around the Bay Area to see if we can find a place that does it real and not Szechuan style. If you like the show, consider buying a shirt and supporting us. We hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll see you on the next one.
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.